Alright guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about my new favorite thing, filters. So initially I bought these filters for my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 thinking that they would make my videos look cinematic. But it turns out that's not actually what these particular lenses do. And now I'm just trying to figure out if I even needed to buy these in the first place. So basically, I bought these without knowing what they actually do. Alright, so if you're new here, you'll know I'm not a tech expert. I'm kind of learning things as I go. And to be honest, I've kind of been putting off this video for a while now, only because I didn't feel comfortable making a video on something I didn't fully understand. So I finally just decided to use the damn filters, and I think I've gotten to a point now where I finally feel comfortable talking about it. And to be honest, I don't really know why I was stressing, because it really wasn't that hard to learn. So if someone like me can learn, so can you. I like to use the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 for videos, and actually the video I'm recording right now is being filmed using the DJI. Recently I noticed when I film outside, my footage gets really blurry. And one fix would be to change the ISO in the settings. But some people, especially beginners, don't always know what settings to change or even feel comfortable changing their settings. And even if you do know what to change, it's still a longer setup. There's more adjustments that have to be made, and it's not really convenient when you're just on the go. Me personally, when I'm shooting, I just want to shoot and then just keep it moving, because then it takes too long. So I went on Amazon and I bought this. This is the Telesin Magnetic CPL and ND filter kit for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And apparently these help control the exposure when it's really bright outside, which is something I definitely need. At first I thought filters were just for color, like those cinematic videos that you see on YouTube. You know, the ones where everything looks warm, it looks moody, and like a movie. So I thought I was buying something like that, but it turns out it doesn't change the color, it changes the light, which is still very useful depending on the situation. These are called ND filters, and they basically make the camera see less light. I guess since the past few videos I've made have all been done inside the crib, I didn't really realize what the hype about these were until I took a step outside and I realized how useful these really were. This kit comes with 4 filters: ND16, ND64, ND256, and CPL. And if you're like me, you probably have no idea what that means. Let's start with the definition of ND filter. ND stands for neutral density. And the best analogy that I've heard to help me understand what an ND filter actually means is like sunglasses. Those sunglasses are gonna let less light in, letting you be able to see a lot better outdoors. So basically, ND filters reduce the amount of light entering the camera lens without affecting the image. And to put into simple terms, the numbers 16, 64, 256 indicate the strength of the filter. ND16 lets in 1/16 of the light, ND64 lets in 1/64 of the light, ND256 lets in 1/256 of the light. So you can imagine 256 lets in very little light compared to the other ones. So instead of going into my settings and lowering the ISO and changing the shutter speed, I can just put on one of these, which sounds easier, but I want to test that. So I almost forgot to explain what a CPL filter is, and I don't want to go too much into detail because, like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm a beginner too. So what it does is it reduces the amount of glare and reflection from non-metallic surfaces, and it also enhances saturation and contrast. Alright, now that we got that boring stuff out of the way, let's go test this. Alright, so here's the plan. I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna try it without the filter, then with the filter, and I wanna see, does it really save more time, or if I just bought something I really didn't need. I'll also be setting up a timer so that we could see if it's actually faster to put a filter on the DJI or just change the ISO instead. God damn. Alright, so here's the problem I always have. As soon as I step 1 foot outside the door, everything just becomes so bright and so overexposed. So this is usually around the time that I usually have to go into my settings. I have to find the ISO, I reduce the ISO, but I also reduce the shutter speed to let less light in, so the image isn't so bright and so overexposed. I feel like I've been saying overexposed a lot, and that will usually do the trick for me. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I showed you guys this already, but if you want to lower the ISO, it's really simple. All you gotta do is swipe right. Let me make this focus for you guys real quick. Alright, now that it's focused, all you have to do is, like I said, swipe right, go to the exposure, and you can change the exposure here. You can change the shutter speed on the left. Pretty easy. And if you're a beginner, kind of like me, I could understand where you might get a little bit confused. And if you feel like this is just too much for you to do, I personally don't think it's that much to go into your settings and just change it and to just memorize like what your previous settings were. You could even write it down. But if that's too much for you, you don't have to shoot in like log footage. Like you could just shoot in just like the regular default footage, and I'm pretty sure it just lowers the exposure for you automatically. All right, now one thing I recommend while you're shooting, just out of convenience, is to bring a hoodie. I like to wear this one. It's a nice big hoodie from Roots, but it has a lot of pocket space. So what I like to do is, walk around, and I'll keep my pack of lenses on me. Whenever I'm just going outside shooting a shot, like I'll just quickly pull it out, put it on, and I feel like that does the job for me. All right, now this time I'm trying it with the filter on, and just off memory, I think I'm starting with ND16. And I mean, already, at least I can see an image when I'm looking around, but let's see how ND64 does. Yeah, so ND64, a lot more of the colors coming through. It's looking a lot better already. Now let's try the last one. I think it was 256. Let's try that. Yeah, and 251, 256. I think this is the one. You can see everything clearly. I don't have to worry about footage looking overexposed or anything like that. This is the one. Now, in case you guys are curious about which filter you're supposed to use when, I feel like I can't really give you advice on that because it just depends on the day. Like sometimes I notice that if it's a cloudy day, maybe I don't need to use 256. Or if I'm just like by the window, that's a perfect example. I definitely don't need to use 256. I could use the ND16 and that does the job for me. And so I feel like it just kind of comes with experience, like just testing them out, and you'll eventually get it. And yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Now, I guess the last thing that we have left to do is the time test. Now let's see how long it takes me to take out the filter, put it on, versus going to my settings and changing the ISO. So since I don't have a timer, I'm just gonna put it up here in post, so you guys will know the time probably before me. All right, so I'm just gonna randomly start this timer to make it as realistic as possible. So let's say I'm walking around, I'm recording, and now. All right, boom. Oh my God, I missed. All right, take two. As you can see, it's closed, so don't worry about that. All right, I'm walking around, I'm vlogging, and now. Take off the old one. Oh, shoot. Done. Now let's see how long it takes to do settings. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Okay, done. So I just went over the footage, and looking back at it now, I really don't know why I thought that the filters were gonna be quicker. Obviously, if it's in your pocket, you have to reach into it, you have to open the case, and then you have to put it back on. Settings, it's like it's right there. You can change it much faster. But regardless, they're still both really close. And here's the thing, if you're just gonna be changing the settings, lowering the ISO and changing the shutter speed can only go so far. Like at some point, you're gonna have to go past what the shutter speed is recommended, and at some point it's going to start to affect the motion of your video, which in my opinion can make your whole video seem kind of inconsistent. Before I wrap up, I want to show you guys a few videos I took when I was outside, comparing how the exposure was before and what the after looked like. Check these out. So if you're asking me if it was worth it, I would say yeah, because otherwise I would be limited in terms of what I can do outside with my footage. And I'm really trying to learn how to make my videos look cinematic. Instead of changing these manually, I could just put on my filters and I'm good. I feel like this makes filming outside way less stressful. And for me, that's worth it. So yeah, even though I thought I bought cinematic filters, but I actually bought exposure filters, I'm glad I did. Because if you're using the Pocket 3 and filming a lot outside, you might need it too. I'm still learning this stuff, but I feel like every video, I understand my camera more. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a fun time learning these, and I've had my eye on a different set of filters. I think it was called Black Mist. Thank you for watching. This has been Cruz. I'm out.